Welcome to Hope Christian Leadership University. We're starting our leadership conference for 2020, session 1 and a backstage pass. We're going to have senior pastor at Bethel Church, Bill Johnson, speaking along with his son, and I'll be conducting the discussion afterwards. I'm Dr. Randall Maxwell.
In fact, it's going to go in and out and cooking dinner.
A university training up today's generation for church leadership tomorrow. A university that gives you a career along with your degree if one's willing to participate in our internship program. Training leadership to change the world. Due to the coronavirus, I think everybody should know by now, we're offering free and majorly discounted spiritual transformation studies every single weekend through September 2020. Take down our website, right there, hoperetreattheranch.org. Drop down to Hope Retreat Global Ministries right under the landing page, and you can see our whole summer schedule. There's our phone number there. If you want to check it out there, it's 757-636-8163. And now, as we always do before we start any class, any session of any kind, praise, worship, prayer, and meditation. University for our 2020 Leadership Conference. whether you're in leadership in a church community or you're not, you need to make sure your church leadership attends this conference. If they can't take it out of their time to learn to lead, then
Guys, take it outside.
maybe you should get into leadership for you and your community. We're going to join backstage for a couple of little sessions here to begin with, and then we'll get right on into the conference.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I find myself living in this place of tension. I hear scriptures like from John 10, where Jesus says, I've come to give you life and life abundantly, or a promise that most of us know from Jeremiah 29 that says, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. But when we hear those promises, sometimes it exposes something. It exposes that there's a gap between where I'm living now and the fulfillment of that promise in my life, which then asks the question, what do I do? What do I do to get myself from where I am now to where I feel like I'm living in that place of promise? And I believe that the answer to that question is found in the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. Now, there's a number of things that you could highlight from that story, but there's just one that I want to pick up today. But I will say that overall, that parable teaches us that the level of blessing or abundance that I live in tomorrow has everything to do with how I steward my today. Now, here's the thought that I wanted to highlight. It says in verse 15 that the man called his servants together, and to one he gave them 5 talents, which was a sum of money, to one he gave them 2, and to the other he gave 1. And then it says this, it was according to their ability. It had nothing to do with fairness. It had everything to do with capacity. They were not given more than they had the ability to handle. It was their ability that attracted resources. Now, that's great news, because our ability is something that we can change. Our ability is something that we can increase. It's actually something that's in the realm of my control.
You can increase your ability.
What do I do when I'm pursuing a promise, a dream, or a sense of destiny? I invest now in growing my ability so I can get to a place where I can handle the promise. Now, there's plenty of things we can do to increase our ability. We can take classes. We can get mentorship. Danny has a great program in the Life Academy. We get around people who have the skills we need. We could even volunteer or serve somewhere so that we can gain experience. It's actually very practical. Let's say, for example, we dream of having a thriving marriage. That's great. Go to relationship classes. Invest in coaching or resources that build your communication skills, that help you be healthy in conflict, that help you understand boundaries. You dream of being in ministry. Great. Start serving somebody who has the skills that you admire. You dream of being successful in business. How about starting with financial peace so you manage your own finances healthily? Or look into college, books, classes. There are so many resources out there that can help us practically grow our skill set. And it's just not wisdom to do nothing and sit passively and wait for God to do something so that our destiny can be fulfilled. When we understand that it's our capacity or our ability that attracts heaven's resources, it gives us the vision necessary to invest in our personal growth.
TV family, we are here live at day 1 of the Leaders Conference. We're so excited to be here, but most importantly, we're excited to have one of my favorite people here, Eric Johnson.
Come on.
Thank you for coming. And
thank you.
we're going to chat up a little bit.
Come on.
Here we are. Awesome. So it's our second Leaders Conference. And what are you excited about or anticipating this year?
Honestly, our theme is Kairos moments. And we feel like, we live in normal time, but when God shows up, things are different. So we really feel like the theme of this conference is Kairos. Feel like God's going to show up. But more importantly, something's going to happen that's going to help set these leaders up for major success. Because we live in a really interesting time right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much is happening in culture.
Yeah.
And so being a leader today is very different than 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
So we need to hear from the Lord on stuff. So
Absolutely.
I'm excited. And then just gathering of people I love.
Absolutely. Yeah. Beautiful. So we do have a few questions on leadership for you.
Great.
Okay. First up, apart from leaders at Bethel, what leaders do you currently admire or have you admired for a long time?
Long time. I mean, you can't not add John Maxwell.
Absolutely.
John Maxwell is just the go-to
Legend.
guy. I mean, it's just what his stuff on leadership you just can't beat. A man that I've admired and now become a friend with is Erwin McManus.
Ah, yes.
I love Erwin for numbers of reasons, but he is a unique leader in today's context and extremely creative. And he's someone that's true to himself. And he has emerged is not the right word, but he's a phenomenal leader of culture.
Yeah.
And he knows how to gather people all the way from the agnostic atheists to the Baptist hardcore Christians.
Yeah, totally.
And I just admire his style of leadership. And so he's someone that I admired. So those two guys right there, Lisa Bevere is one of my most favorites. Lisa is just that.
Yep, she will tell you how it is.
There's no compromise. There's
Absolutely.
conviction. She knows how to lead from conviction.
Yes.
And so those are three people that come to mind.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. So, I'm going to ask you, what are your 3 top books on leadership that you would recommend to our
Okay,
viewers?
so one I would recommend would be 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership from John Maxwell. Can't beat that book. That book is excellent. And I still live off of that book. And I probably read it 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book. There's another book from a guy named Flippin. That's his name.
Wow.
That's,
His actual name.
Yeah. His last name is Flippin, so his parent apparently said Flip. I don't know. how that
Hey, it
works.
works.
But Flippin, he wrote a book called Flipside.
Okay.
And it's a really good book. He had a tool that he uses to help leaders understand how they experience themselves and how the environment experiences them.
Ah.
And it's an incredible book. I love that book. Another book, I don't know if it's leadership, but it feeds into that, would be anything from Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell just seemed to touch on stuff that I think every leader needs to be aware of. So those are the 3 that I can think of right now.
Okay, awesome.
Of course, the Bible.
And the Bible.
But, you know.
Yes, it's all of our books on leadership, right? So I do know that you are a sports fanatic, right?
Big time.
And your favorite team?
Lakers for basketball.
In basketball.
For
yes.
basketball.
So if you could pick the greatest leader on the current Lakers team, who would it be and why?
The greatest on
Leader.
that team? Well, it's going to be LeBron because
Okay.
he is the leader of that team. He had a very different style of leadership.
Okay.
So we could totally go into in-depth here.
I know we could.
We've actually talked about this here. So like Chris Valentin and I got in this discussion about who would we pick, Steph Curry or LeBron James? And Chris said LeBron James and I said Steph Curry by far. They're both incredible leaders,
Yeah,
but they're
absolutely.
very different style of leadership. And so I think that's good for us to be aware of. You can be very different, but still be a phenomenal leader. There's not only one way to be a leader. So for the Lakers,
Yes.
LeBron is the leader. He's clearly the one.
Okay.
What I do value about LeBron, I do value he does his best to incorporate the whole team. He does his best on that.
He's a good leader, but also embraces the team player
Yeah.
mindset. Beautiful.
And I think he understands that he's getting older, and not a lot of leaders do that.
That's good.
They think they're still this age or still at this season of their life. LeBron's like, no, I'm getting older, so I'm going to start changing my game. And I think that's a
Absolutely.
great leadership principle to be aware of.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and I'm declaring the Lakers are making it deep into the playoffs.
Well, you heard it here first, guys.
And the Houston Rockets are going to get knocked out in the
Houston
first
Rockets
round.
for life. Awesome. Well, that wraps it up for us tonight. Thank you. It's going to be a great night, so keep watching. That's all I got to say. Yeah. See you later.
See you guys.
It was mentioned John Maxwell at the backstage pass. Let's meet John Maxwell.
Most people live their life and honestly cannot say at the end of their life that they truly made a difference in the lives of others. The John Maxwell team offers you the opportunity to have a significant life. You're here because you want to make a difference. As I welcome you here, I have such a sense of anticipation for what's about to happen in your life. so consumed with passion that I don't recognize closed doors. And I want to be so consumed with passion that when there's no way, I find a way and I make a way. And I want to be so consumed with passion that I do things that people think are impossible. And I want to be so consumed with passion that I attract dollars to my vision so that I can resource the things that I believe can make a difference in this world. What really excites me is your potential. Because when you put great potential that you have with a great heart, passion and potential coming together with a team that supports and cares and lifts and encourages one another, you left average at home. I will give my name to you, believe in you and endorse you and train you and hope that it opens up doors for you. And can I tell you something? It was the best decision I ever made. You have not let me down. You have lifted the banner. Serve one another. We love one another. We share with one another. We give to each other. The John Maxwell team. You have taken me where I have never been. On the world. I see you more than certified John Maxwell team coaches. I see you as transformational leaders. I see you as going back to your business, to your homes, to your communities, to your families, to your states, to your regions, to your countries, and beginning to bring positive change and transformation to everybody that you come into contact with and for everyone that you influence and touch. Now is our time. Today is our day. I want you to understand as we start this journey, this is all within your reach. If you could stand where I am and you could see you as I'm seeing you right now, it's very humbling. I'm so fulfilled in life. And I'm so incredibly blessed because I have an army, a John Maxwell team army, that absolutely loves what I love and does what I do. And we're making a huge difference. Thank you, John Maxwell team members. Thank you. You see, I'm certain we can never improve our lives until we change something that we do daily. Success just doesn't occur suddenly one day in our lives. Each day is a process. What we become ultimately is the result of what we do every day. Join me every day for A Minute with Maxwell. This free daily video coaching series is being enjoyed by millions of people worldwide. People just like you. Enjoy the free Minute with Maxwell daily coaching series and let me come alongside you and support you in your journey toward more intentional living and greater success.
Bill Johnson.
Thank you. Thanks. All right. Thank you. You're cutting into my sermon time, so. Now, we're so thrilled to have you guys here. we love it so much. This event used to be held at the College View campus, and we didn't advertise it because we couldn't fit many people. And we decided once a year to open this up, and you guys all said yes, and it's just been so exciting. We're so thrilled. We got people from all over the planet here. How many of you are from somewhere else? Is there anyone here from Reading? Yeah, oh good, we have a few, oh good, all right. Well, we're glad that you're here, and we're thrilled to have you in our town. God is doing such a great work here. I know that so many of you prayed and gave and helped us a year ago with devastating fires that we had, and we just want to thank you. Thank you for doing that. And we're in about a 10-year rebuilding season. But we're thrilled. We're thrilled to have so many friends all over the world. So anyway, thank you for being here. I should read something to you because it's what I do. According to a news report, a certain private Catholic school was recently faced with a unique problem. A number of their girls were starting to wear lipstick. They put it on in the restroom. And that was fine, except that they would press their lips against the mirrors. And it was very difficult work for the custodians to clean the mirrors every day. Finally, the principal, Sister Mary, decided something had to be done. She called all the girls. They squeezed into the girls' bathroom, and she began to talk to them about how hard it was to clean the mirrors. You can imagine the young ladies were yawning with boredom as she was preaching to them. And finally, she turned to the custodian to demonstrate how difficult cleaning the mirrors were. And Sister Mary asked the maintenance man, "George, would you please demonstrate how hard it is to clean these mirrors?" He said, "Certainly." And he took the squeegee, he dipped it into the toilet, and then he scrubbed the mirror. And they never had lip prints on the mirror again. That's called being an educator right there. I've read that one probably 100 times. I laugh every time. It's funny. So, God, we have a bunch of great materials. I'll run through some quickly. The Way of Life was a book that I took on as a challenge to write concerning how to measure the answer to the prayer on earth as it is in heaven. If we have measurable ways of seeing that prayer being answered, then we become encouraged by the answers to prayer. Answers to prayer are supposed to be a source of extreme, continuous joy. Jesus said, "In that day you'll ask, whatever you ask for will be done, that your joy may be full." So if we don't get our joy from answers to prayer, we have to get our joy from the discipline of prayer, and there's no competition. And so this is really working to discover the reality of heaven's culture here on earth. This one is my most recent one, Raising Giant Killers. And there's a hyphen between giant and killers, so it's not raising big bad killers. We're raising a generation to destroy the giants that have been after them. And this was a book I wanted to write for like 10 or 15 years. And finally we had the liberty last year, Benny and I, to do this one. It's available back there. God is good. He's better than you think. I believe this to be the cornerstone of theology. He is as good as he is holy. And it's vital to discover that, because your faith only explores where you have revelation of his goodness. Your faith only explores where you have understanding of his goodness. Otherwise, faith has no permission to go. So this is a vital story. And then my wife wrote this one this last year. It's the Power of Communion. Extraordinary miracles of healing. And I would encourage you to take a look at this.
Well, welcome back to class.
Thank you.
I hated for you that we had to cut you out of most of the lecture, but this is just a video to give you an idea how one of our conferences or classes actually go. Hopefully on this discussion we'll hit the high points, you reckon?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Dr. Randall Maxwell. My wife, Pastor Rebecca,
Hi, y'all.
David, Steve, and Michael.
See what?
See what?
I thought his last name was.
He's aggravating me.
Steve missed the last session, but he's sitting in on it for the next. So tell me, Michael.
How did I know it was going to be Michael?
Tell me, David.
No, it's
What was
fine.
the most meaningful thing you got out of it?
Hold on, I'll answer that.
Well, I like it where Bill mentioned thinking about everything that goes on in your life, whether it's good stuff or bad stuff. Just praise God for it, whatever circumstances it is, because if you let it get to create negative thoughts into you, you've lost the battle, and you just need to keep rejoice always. Pray with
That's the topic.
Again, I say.
Rejoice always.
Yes,
The key to mental illness.
Again, I say rejoice. Rejoice. Rejoice.
Did I ever tell you what the major key to happiness is?
You gave it up or up.
Gratitude. Rejoicing. Because why? Both adversity and favor should drive me to the Word of God. You don't know the Word, I guess you out of luck. Huh?
Pretty much.
Guess you just have to stay mentally ill forever. Or come to Hope Retreat and learn the Word. Michael.
Yes, sir. I like it when he was talking about learn to face the biggest fear that you could ever face.
Yeah.
To me, that was a good point because I think a lot of people got a misconception of believers and belief as being weakness, or because it's all about strength to me. It's all about when you find your purpose and belief that you become the strongest person you've ever been.
It takes more courage, more strength to stand up to Jesus than to deny him.
Amen.
Because everybody's going down that path.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that drive us in life is what everybody thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
What'd you get out of it?
I was cooking. Going back and forth.
Oh. By the time you were in here, you didn't get anything.
He just started.
Okay.
What'd you get out of it, Randall?
Well, I shared a few things. Keep bringing up we're entering a challenging season, a new season. Do we recall what he said this season is going to entail?
I don't know if I wrote that second part down.
Well, the challenging part, we have to be mentally, emotionally, and pure in heart sound.
I know I like it where he says we got authority over every storm that we dwell in.
Got a what?
We got authority over every storm that we dwell in. When he started talking about Mark 4 there,
Yeah.
you know, about how they...
Did you say the COVID-19 is a storm
Oh, yeah.
in America today?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's a good song. The end in the middle of the storm.
Any storm you can sleep through. What?
No, that we can dwell in. He said you have authority over every storm.
I know, but he said something to the
I said
extent
something I didn't
of
mean to. That slipped.
you have authority
Yes.
over
Authority.
any storm you can sleep through.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's telling the story of Jesus telling the disciples let's leave here and go over to the other side. That I guess you might call it what kind of word?
Pathetic.
Prophetic word.
Yes.
We're going to the other side. The middle of the sea, a storm comes up.
Right.
It must have been quite a storm because the professional fishermen have been out in the storm. Do you not care we're about to perish? Jesus was kicked back, asleep.
Yeah.
And I like the part where he said when Jesus was probably thinking about, he was not really worried about because he was probably having images of being back in heaven again.
No, he was living in the kingdom here.
Living in the kingdom.
As we can live in the kingdom here. Right?
Not worrying about the storm because he knew everything was going to be okay.
God's got it.
God does have it.
Okay. Anything else we should talk about?
I'm thinking.
Key to mental health is rejoice always.
And again, I say rejoice.
Power in thanksgiving. Giving thanks in every situation.
Yeah. What about he said never credit God for something the devil did?
Right. You're giving the devil authority, aren't you? Okay. Well, wish you could have sat through the whole session. We encourage you to join us online. We start this study tonight, so maybe you can join us by tomorrow night. Our next class will be 10 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. So, and this is a free study. So take advantage while you can. Or, if you just come to the university as a regular student, not this summer, it's $2,000 a semester. Enjoy it while you can, as it's